Hola! Okay, here we are again, and I hope it's better now. Hi, Virat. Hi, Chandra. Okay, I don't think my voice is echoing now. Is it much better, guys? Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to add him now. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for him to come in and then I'll add him. So it's a very interesting topic that we're discussing, and that's digestive health. And as he mentioned, that it is the root cause of many diseases, that we face. So that's quite interesting. And let's see what he has to say and how can we cure it actually. Hi.
Hi, Asma.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Am I audible now?
You're audible, but I think my voice is again echoing. But I'll just let you do the talking. Just explain digestive health.
Okay. So I repeat for all those who just joined in, and people, it will be a slight repetition for people who are already there. Ayurveda believes that all disease emerge from imbalances in the digestive system. Right? So I was discussing about the concept of ama or toxins. Right? So Ayurveda believes that the way toxins, like you see, every day the body is designed in such a way there'll be some amount of toxins, but as long as the body is able to process it, release and eliminate it, that's fine. But there are other methods through which toxins actually enter and accumulate inside the system. A couple of them are processed food, like wrong kind of food, tamasic food, that is even food that is stored for a long time, right? External toxins, environmental toxins, even mental toxins, right? So even if people have negative emotions or so-called negative, what are classified as negative emotions, such as anger, hate, jealousy, rage, so even that can create a lot of havoc inside the digestive system. Some of us may be more sensitive to it. Some of us may not be. So what happens is that all this actually slowly it starts accumulating inside the digestive system, and if not eliminated correctly, or if not eliminated frequently or all the time, it keeps accumulating, and there's a time when it actually leaves the digestive system and goes inside various channels of the body, and it clogs those areas.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So the moment there is clogging inside those areas and those meridians, there's prana flows inside the system. That's how we are alive, because of prana. So the moment prana so the moment this ama or toxins goes and blocks many meridians of the body, that's the time prana will be blocked from flowing throughout the whole system, and that is one of the reasons also that causes disease. If you ask any Ayurvedic physicians, they will tell you that as long as you keep your food intake all right and your lifestyle intake all right, you will be away from disease for at least 85 to 90%.
Wow.
And that's a huge percentage.
Of course, yeah.
Right? The other concept that I want to share with you is that one of the most important things that is part of the digestive system or our bodies is the concept of Agni, which of course translates in Hindi and Sanskrit as fire. Right? So Agni is one of
You mean the digestive Agni?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are many kinds of Agni. There are 40 kinds of Agni. I won't get inside the detail of all of this, but I'll just make things very, very simple so that not only people who are watching us right now, not only can they assimilate it.
Sorry, you're not audible. You have to repeat that again. It's not clear.
Yeah. Is my voice clear now?
Yeah, better.
So the concept that I want to share with you is a very simple. It's
Okay, somebody mentioned that if you can speak a little louder.
Of course. I think my voice is louder now, so I hope that you are able to hear me much better. Right? So I said the other concept is that of Agni. Agni actually means fire, right? So there's this internal Agni. There are many kinds of Agni, but in this particular session of ours, I'm going to discuss things that are very simple, and that whoever is part of this session actually gains things from whatever I have to share and whatever this our interaction of ours. So the system of Agni is such that as long as it's one of the most important elements of our well-being. Agni is basically, if there is no Agni, there is no life. So all we need to do is support the Agni by, once again, correct food, correct eating, a healthy lifestyle. And a healthy lifestyle is living by nature's principles. Right? So as long as you take care of all that, you will be playing a huge part in taking care of your own system and of your own health.
Okay.
Right? So many ways in which you can actually support your own self. I'll go beyond this right now.
Yeah. Basically, how can we support or keep our Agni ignited?
Absolutely. See, the first and one of the most important things that we need to take care of is, number one, we need to stop all processed foods. I wouldn't say as much as possible. I would rather use the word eliminate all processed foods from our diet. People, what people ate, what our ancestors ate, even in the last 100 years, right? I mean, let me put it this way. More has changed in the last 70 years in the human diet as compared to the last 10,000 years or more. Right? Those guys then, they never had the technology to process things. They would eat fresh food. They would eat fresh food. They would eat really, really healthy food. They would hardly eat white rice.
They would prepare fresh food.
Absolutely.
Now because we are always on the go, we reach out to things that are easy, like probably frozen food, microwavable stuff like that.
Absolutely. See, one of the problems that Ayurveda also considers is that things even like modern technologies like microwave, right? Now Ayurveda and even yoga, we believe in the concept of prana. Right, the healthier the prana, the more intake of prana, the healthier the person will be, the more alive he will be. Right? Things like microwave actually diminish or even kill prana whenever you heat all these foods in the microwave. Then a lot of us also tend to heat food in plastic.
Yeah.
Right? So that plastic today contains BPA, and we cook in vessels that are non-toxic, non-stick. That's also a chemical coating, and there are so many things that we do. Is it any surprise that all these issues are actually affecting our hormonal or endocrine systems? It's so sad that when people come to me for help, there are so many young women that I see, 24, 25, either they are losing hair, they have major issues with their thyroid, major issues with their menstrual cycles, major issues with their PCOD. It's an alarm.
Yeah.
Right? So, why is it that suddenly, I can't say suddenly, over the last 10 years,
it's been increasing. Even like cancer rates, the amount of people who are suffering because of cancer going up, and this is all connected.
Ashna, from Jalandhar, I think there's a train that goes to Delhi. It is given a pet name or a nickname. It's called the cancer train. Because those guys, over the years, they realized that those areas of Punjab where they grow a lot of wheat, they use so much fertilizer that everybody or so many people who are around that area are having major issues because so much of that fertilizer has gone inside their groundwater, inside their food. So that train is nicknamed the cancer train because majority of the patients inside those places actually go to Delhi because they don't have cancer hospital facilities in Jalandhar as compared to Delhi. So it's nicknamed the cancer train. So things have changed and lifestyle has changed. I mean, there are so many people, it's considered so fashionable. There's nothing new. It's considered so fashionable to even, stay up at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Things around COVID are worse because people don't have any routine. And Ayurveda believes that one of the most important foundations of not only great but fabulous optimal health is a robust routine. So the reason I'm sharing all these things with you is even a robust routine has got so many, we need to take care of our routine because that routine in turn will keep our digestive health in super balance. You see,
How is that connected to digestive health? Like having a robust routine or being disciplined.
Okay. See, number one, we are diurnal animals or diurnal species, right? We live during the day, right? Our bodies, our hormones, our cells have adapted and evolved to stay, to live in the day and sleep at night. Right? Now, our digestive systems have evolved, and even our digestive systems have evolved because we get triggers and signals from the sun, right? So Ayurveda believes that digestive system, gets a trigger or an extra spark the moment the sun rises. At its zenith, around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, the sun is the strongest, and our digestive system is also at its strongest.
Okay.
Right? So ideally, circadian rhythm. And, yeah, I must share with you. Circadian rhythm, see, two of the oldest systems of natural medicine are the Indian as well as the Chinese. I'm not so familiar with the Chinese system, but circadian system is like a very big, word today. But Ayurveda has always had it, right? We know, not we in the sense Ayurveda teaches us that what happens, how nature's rhythms shift every 3 hours, every 4 hours, I'm sorry. So there are these rhythms that start from 10 to 2, 2 to 6, 6 to 4. So it's the Ayurvedic wisdom is already has always been familiar with something like this for the last 5,000 years. It's not a new science for us. So even there are herbs that people give, if we give patients our herbs, we know that if I give a certain herb at a certain time, it may even react because of the circadian rhythm. Now, coming back to your actual question, how is the circadian, how is the movement of the sun or even having a robust routine connected to our digestive?
Connected to digestive.
Now, if you eat at say 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, that's your breakfast. Right? Every day you eat at 9, then you eat your lunch at 1, then you eat your dinner at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Automatically, after a week, if you follow this routine or maybe 2 weeks, at 1 o'clock, automatically you start feeling hungry. Right? This happens to a lot of people. So the body also, body has more intelligence than any of us can imagine. Every cell has this remarkable intelligence within its own self. So the body prepares that, if Kartikeya or Ashna are going to eat at 1 o'clock, so it will produce those acids, it will produce those enzymes because it knows that the food is going to come at around 1 o'clock. Right? So there are many people, there are many of us who, for work, for living an erratic lifestyle, the moment if we start living like that, right? So the body gets very confused that, it knows that it's supposed to release enzymes or acids, say about at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Suddenly Ashna or Kartikeya forget. Then you eat at 3:30. Some days you eat at 2:30. I mean, all these things fluctuate the system a lot. Number one. Number two, let me share something very interesting with you, how everything affects the digestive system. In America, or forget America, there's a concept that's called social jet lag. Social jet lag means if you sleep by 10 p.m. every day from Monday to Thursday, right, and on Friday and Saturday, you party like an animal and you party till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? It seriously in time affects your digestive system. India doesn't have a timing change. In America, in springtime, there's a timing change, and in fall, that's October, there's a time change. The moment the time increases, there's an increase of heart attack patients in hospitals by 21%.
Okay.
Just change of 1 hour of less sleep. This is every year they observe the same thing. So can you imagine how sensitive and delicate our bodies are, no matter how much we will think that, we are very strong, we are very hardy. Yes, we are. But these systems, these are problems of this erratic routine or not following a robust routine give you, what do you say? Consequences. These are consequences. Right? So even living by a robust routine is one of the core foundations of robust health.
What else
What
apart from
else
this
apart
can we
from
do
this can we do
to
to
strengthen our
strengthen our
digestive?
digestion?
Okay. One of the most important things that I will share with you is to chew.
Chew.
Chew your
Chew.
food well. You know, there are stories that I know in history where there were people who were about to kill by the Germans in Auschwitz, right? Nazis. And there's a guy who wrote his book because his mother told him, son, in your life, you want to stay healthy, you chew. So he would chew, chew, chew. And he was some of the very few people who survived after the Nazis kept them hungry and after he escaped the thing because he chewed. He was able to take in more nutrition than most people were able to in terms of the people who were caught in those slave camps and things like that. Right? Digestion, Ashna, doesn't begin in the stomach. Digestion begins in the mouth.
That's where I think most of us don't concentrate or pay attention. We always in so much hurry. You know, we're either watching TV or we're on the phone or we're almost always distracted.
Absolutely. And today there's a modern, it's not today, unfortunately. I've been seeing this problem for the last 10, 15 years. Television. Yeah. It's in every house. You have these superb or so-called very, very popular television series. And the women of the house say, you know what? Don't ask us to serve food. You have it before or after. It's a very common thing in so many households. And the whole family thinks it's doing a very smart thing by sitting in front of television and everybody's watching some woman crying or these so-called soap serials where drama is happening. The worst is when you're seeing Santhani Khabar and breaking news. I think, you know, it has
and right now we all are at home and constantly like someone or the other in your family is on TV watching something, you know, so you hear that while consuming
absolutely.
your food.
You know, this Agni, if it is good, it will also digest all what you perceive, all what you see, all what you assimilate through your five senses. Right? If you cannot digest it, it stays inside your system. Trauma stays inside your system till either you get counseling or there are various methods. So that means the Agni has not been able to digest that trauma and assimilate it and release it. So even that is the job of the Agni. Right? So coming back to food, right? So the first thing, most important thing we need to do is chew really, really well. Chew a minimum of at least 40 times before you swallow your food. Right? Okay. You will see such a remarkable difference even in gas and bloating, even in constipation, even in acid reflux, and so many related things can be overcome just by the habit of chewing.
And I think we'll end up eating less also. Because the thing is, when you chew fast, you finish small and you end up consuming a lot more.
Absolutely.
When you chew slowly, you end up finish that whatever meal that you have, take longer to finish that.
Absolutely. The second is, as I already told you, I cannot stress enough on eating whole foods because you see, when I made changes, and I still make changes, I used to have white rice like everybody of us does, right? Today, I'm on brown rice if I eat brown rice, right? So even if you eat a small quantity of that brown rice, you feel satiated, you feel a great amount of contentment. And I'm at a state right now where even if I eat white rice, I was like, you know what, like if I go to a party or some celebration, I can't insist on everybody, you know what, make things according to me. So sometimes I have to do what I need to do. And even if I eat that white rice, there's no satiety. And very quickly I start feeling hungry again, right? Because the body understands that this doesn't have the kind of nutrition that the body needs. So it'll crave for something else to satiate that need for nutrition, right? So today, so much of our diet has changed. Today, you remember, most of us remember what? Chawal, there is white rice and gehu. Beyond that, okay, some people eat some amount of millets, but that percentage, unfortunately, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? You know, there's a friend of mine who used to work with tribal people. So he gave them, he used to work with tribal kids. So he gave them an assignment related to food, where he said to all the kids that go home, ask your grandfather or grandmother, how many variety of food you would eat in a week, right? How much did your parents eat? And how much do you eat? So the result is a surprise. The grandfather and the grandmother remembered 65 to 70. items, different items in terms of various roots,
What
shoots,
they-
vegetables, etc., etc., etc. The father and the mother remembered about 40, 45, and the kids could not think more than 20. Now imagine where are we landing up with this shrinking of even the diversity in our food. Forget the environment, that is secondary, because what we choose to eat also has such a deep impact on the environment, on the planet.
Yeah.
The less processed food you eat, the better is it for your body. The less pharmaceuticals you will be dependent upon at a later time. And so much more research is coming out which says that the more you rely and consume whole foods, the lesser your chance of even getting chronic disease and deadly diseases, which didn't exist, or did exist, but at a very minuscule level about 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, versus the disaster we are in right now, and the problems that we will face as a human race in the near future, not even too far, in the near future. So these are issues that are a matter of great concern. And I hope that, honestly, I don't think humanity has much of a choice. Either it goes back to nature or it continues living the way it is. So there's always, there's a lot of wisdom that a man gave me once. And one of the quotes he gave me, he told me, Kartike, there are no good or bad decisions. There are only consequences. So it's a personal choice, you see.
Yeah. Exactly. That's
so true.
So, if you can elaborate and tell us the remedies that Ayurveda and whole plant-based food gives us to cure this.
Yes. The first most important thing you need to do is eat things that are as whole as possible. For example, instead of white rice, you eat brown rice. Instead of eating white rice poha, you eat brown rice poha. Even in grain, increase your intake of millets, increase your intake of various kinds of rice, provided they are brown. Like unpolished rice, eat cereals that are
closer to their natural form.
Absolutely, the closest to their natural form. As long as you do that, you will stay away from a lot of misery. Eat as much fiber as possible. White rice does not have any fiber at all. Now, if you have a sweet tooth, which a lot of us do, it's better that you eat. Me too, of course, me too. So you eat raisins, you eat dates instead of sugar. Sugar, Ashana, is absolutely deadly, right? I used to be a sugar addict once upon a time. One day I suddenly decided that I've had enough, so I'm going to stop sugar. I lost like 12 kilos in a year because I never wanted to accelerate as well. Let me go with the flow. The brain fogginess just disappears. Every month I would feel more clear, more mentally, it's
just by eliminating
white sugar in any and everything, right? Second, eliminate anything to do with dairy. Ayurveda respects milk, right? It has a lot of reverence for ghee, but the problem is, let me just go back a little bit. Ghee deserves our reverence as a food. Right? It has amazing qualities. There's no debate or doubt on that. But the problem is, what is the source? The source are those cows that are actually tethered inside a cow shed. You've seen these cow sheds in Bombay. They are in a very pathetic state, right? So the cows are not given any freedom at all. They are used as machines. An average cow's life is usually 25 to 26 years. In today's modern times, the average life of a cow is not more than 6.5 years, because the cow can't bear more torture as compared to what she's facing, whether she's used for milk or whether she's used for slaughter, regardless of government rules. That's a different story.
The milk that we get right now, the quality is not what it used to be. So we need to actually see from what source are we getting our dairy from, be it butter, like your milk, curd, whatever.
Absolutely. So these are issues that are, Ashna, it's like the tallest building in the world, right? You cannot build the tallest building or any building in the world till you have a foundation on sand, right? So as long as you build your foundation, you need to take care of building your foundation. Ayurveda has a very beautiful quote in the Charak Samhita which says, the body is the result of food. Disease is the result of food. The difference between ease and dis-ease is the intake of wholesome nutrition or the lack of it.
Hmm.
Right? So everything is, well, things are different today. We are using Wi-Fi, we are constantly on the mobile phone. But as far as the Ayurvedic remedies go, right, everything that I've given you so far are all remedies, including my suggestions on lifestyle. There's something else that a lot of us can do, which is a great way to aid our digestive health. You take a small piece of ginger, that's 1/8 inch of ginger, you boil it inside drinking water, you remove it from the gas, you cool it down a little bit, you cool it down a little bit, you add a squeeze of lime and a pinch of salt,
Okay.
and you drink that about 15 minutes before your meal. Right? You start with lunch first, then you extend to breakfast. Right? Now this is a great digestive aid. In fact, don't throw away the ginger. Get inside the habit of even chewing the ginger, because that's also fiber.
Wow. Okay.
Right? So chew the ginger. Don't sieve things.
And this can be done throughout the year.
Yeah, you know what? This summer was unusually hot, so if it's very warm, avoid it. Then you can simply take a squeeze of lime with a little salt.
Okay.
Right? So you can eliminate the ginger, and you see, understand and be aware of your own self. Are you feeling more heaty after eating the ginger? Yes. And suppose if you eat at 1 p.m., so try and finish the drink, this chai, this tea, by 12:40 or 12:45.
15
Right?
minutes.
So you have a 15-minute gap, 15-20-minute gap, and then you have your meals. This is a great digestive aid. It will help you with constipation. It will help you with acid reflux. It will help you with so many. It's a great detoxifier also. It's, I spoke to you about Agni. This particular chai that I told you actually aids and stimulates the Agni to be in a good shape. As long as the Agni is in good shape, it'll digest almost anything and everything.
Okay.
Right? So this is a great.
I'm going to try that.
Please do that. You will call me to tell me how brilliant it is. I promise you that it's that good. Right? So it's then Go ahead. You had.
I was going to ask you one Ayurvedic food according to you.
See, there are so many superfoods, right? So many superfoods in Ayurveda. One is amla. The second one is also, which is less spoken about, though eaten, is even things like sesame. Sesame, right? Sesame has
black sesame.
Black sesame is much better, because black sesame is hulled, and once it is hulled, it gives you white sesame.
Okay.
So Ayurveda considers black sesame to be far superior and more potent than even white sesame. Sesame, you'll be surprised, 100 grams of sesame has far more calcium and far more protein than 100 grams of milk. Much, maybe 3 times more or something like that.
Okay.
Right? So if you have 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, now people who have an issue with chewing, make a paste of it. You can add but have it raw. Have a paste of it and eat it. Have it raw. It's an amazing superfood, and I'll even tell you why. You see, sesame grows can grow in very difficult conditions. It's a very strong plant. So if you eat sesame every day, that natural
you develop those qualities within you as well.
Yes, you develop the same or similar resilience inside your system.
Okay.
Right? Sesame can grow even in semi or almost drought-like conditions. So in Western philosophy or thought process, this is called the doctrine of signatures. It means that, for example, a walnut it has like the shape of a brain, so it's good for the brain, right? So similarly, even sesame is a very, very strong, hardy plant, and that will give you a lot of that resilience that I spoke to you about. Amla is extraordinary. In fact, then there are more foods that increase something that's called ojas. Ojas is the closest to the English word immunity.
Okay.
Right?
That's great. You can tell us immunity.
Yeah, but before I share, there's 1 minute that I will take before I tell you some immunity boosting foods, and those are You see, Ayurveda, there's a concept of something that's called Saptadhatu. Right? So there are 7 tissues. Right? I'm not going to get inside detail because I know that we have a timing. I have to respect time. So the moment you eat food, right, it takes 5 days to nourish each dhatu. So 5 days for number one, number two. By the time it reaches the seventh dhatu and finishes is the 35th day. And the end of the 35th day, whatever remains is the finest essence, and that what remains is what you call ojas. Right? So before even I talk to you about immunity and immunity boosting foods, let me also give you a very basic point. That is, every morsel of food that you take affects your entire system. So everything that you will eat, as long as it's whole foods, non-dairy in today's day and age, will only boost your immunity. Right? Everything else is what you call in Hindi sone pe suhaga. So if people eat junk and they think that, you know what, I'll eat dates, I'll eat sesame, all these are ojas building foods, it'll help them, but it may not help that person as much as somebody who eats whole foods, who naturally has developed a very, very hardy immunity.
It gets absorbed better on your body.
See, not only does it do, it's like a super boosting to the system. So I was only, encouraging everybody to eat a whole plant-based diet so that your immunity is built anyway. This is all the cherry on the cake, right? So a few things, like for example, brown rice has ojas. Sesame has ojas. So many dates have ojas. Right? So these are the foods that are these. Amla has unbelievable amount of ojas. Amla is like one of the most revered fruits in Ayurveda because it's remarkable, because it's a true superfood. Amazing amount of vitamin C, super antioxidants. So, but once again, please, I request you, do not drink amla juice that is part of a packet.
Okay. What do you get ready-made?
Absolutely, because you see, overall, as much as I remember, in years, we would get amla, we still get amla in India all the way from somewhere around November to March, right? So if it's in season, drink the juice. If it is not in season, please, I request you, take the powder. Do not drink the juice, because you see, nature has much more intelligence than all of our wisdom combined. As human beings, there's a certain wisdom because of which amla, is not doesn't grow throughout the year, right? So if it grows in the year, in the season, take it. Otherwise, you take the powder. The powder is fine.
Stick to the powder.
Because otherwise, you'll be taking in the amla juice, but it'll come with the preservatives. You don't want that. You have enough of that nonsense anyway.
Yeah,
So,
thank you for clarifying that. Sometimes it comes with added sugar also, just so that because it's so sour that you end up picking up one with a lot of sugar in it.
Of course, matter of convenience and taste. I completely understand that. That's why I just wanted to emphasize on this particular point that marketing is don't fall for the business of influence. Go by nature. It'll be initially, it might be a little troublesome for a few days. You'll get used to it, but your body will respond back with a lot of love. And we all need that. We need to do a lot of self-love, and we will get it back.
And we need to heal.
It's a two-way traffic all the time.
Okay, great. So we're gonna stick to the point that you've given us. Food more in their natural form. Brown rice over white rice.
Yes.
More of amla, dates, and sesame seeds. These are the things that you can probably find in the diet.
Absolutely. And also, please avoid eating unseasonal fruits and imported fruits. You see, I mean, there's a reason why apples come at a certain time, and even, mangoes come at a certain time. If you eat this amaras during the time of, winter, it'll just do harm to the body because it's frozen. I mean, it's you see, today we live in a world where apples come from New Zealand, and if, after the New Zealand harvest gets over, stuff comes in from China, then something happens. Don't eat by what grows in season. Eat as much as possible what grows locally. In the United States, the Californians have discovered that, I'm not encouraging you to have honey, but I'm just telling you what goes in the news. If you eat local honey, right, most people who start eating local honey, their allergies simply go away. Right. Well, so that's the remarkable benefits of eating things.
Having local and seasonal.
Absolutely. So I encourage everybody who's part of this or who's been part of this session, right? Live by nature, go by the principles of nature, sleep on time, wake up on time. It's all these are part of self nurturance, right? You will realize in very shortly, it's already started happening, that see, it's not a matter of you know what, because Ayurveda says this, we are superior, we are wiser, but those guys have something that's called cultural wisdom, and human beings have survived because of cultural wisdom. Each of us, each of our communities internationally has cultural wisdom, right? So go by cultural wisdom, right? So even the allopaths are now realizing, you know what, sleeping on time may help in eradicating a lot of these diseases that are only because of lifestyle. I, Ashna, have got references of patients by doctors who say, you know, and they've told those patients that iske aage our pill will not work. It's beyond us right now. You need to go and connect with somebody who's like a lifestyle and a health coach, because you need coaching in that. Our pill won't help you anymore. It hasn't helped. We are beyond any more medicine that we can give you. So why, Ashna, the point is, why get inside that state?
Yeah, why?
Rather
prevent all that,
than
go seeking for a cure.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Got it.
Great. This was great.
This was
Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for
And thank
sharing
you for
all
sharing
the
all
beautiful
the beautiful
information.
information.
And I'm definitely trying my sesame seeds and brown rice I've been having, but I'm going to definitely try amla and sesame seeds.
Yes, do try our millets also. Don't forget
Millets.
Millets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do
They are-
include
they are-
I do
them.
include them.
I almost
I almost have that
twice
twice a week.
Wonderful.
I
try to that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
They are also a
Awesome.
superfood,
Awesome.
Ashna. They are also a big superfood. They belong to
Yeah,
superfood.
it is
always been there.
But
You
we
already
are so attracted to things that are internationally sourced that we forget our traditional superfood. But I guess now we all are going back to it, and thanks to people like you, for reminding us every now and then, this is what we should actually do.
And one last tip: if you're having whole foods, especially cereals, make sure to soak them overnight. So that will
Okay.
become easy to digest and easier to cook and easier to assimilate the nutrition from.
Cereals, you mean? So we should have them
overnight.
No, cereals in the sense like even brown rice, millets, etc., etc.
Okay.
Make sure that you soak them overnight. Even your akha dals, even the green
Yeah.
beans.
So
The more they are
the
soaked,
better
the better they are. You can digest.
Easier to cook, easier to digest, and that's what we need. We need nutrition.
Okay.
Good nutrition.
Okay.
That's what's important.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
That was
Yeah,
great.
that was great.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you
so much for joining me.
And
I'm gonna
speak things. Thanks.
Thank you, Ashna. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you
joining
guys for
us.
joining us.
And I'll see you
I'll
again.
see you again next week.